Right now, Congress is very busy catering to special interests in healthcare. Healthcare is not about health. Healthcare now is a sick system that's a non-system of government and a non-system of care in which physicians are forced to cater to insurance companies and not to take care of patients. The only way to solve this problem is to have single payer. And that's because it's the only way to take special interests out of healthcare and reform the system. I'm Dr. Newman. I've been involved in it as a patient and as a physician in this system for a number of years, too many to count. And there's no question that the emotional and financial cost of the bureaucracy of health insurance is wearing down physicians and impeding current health care. This has to stop. We need a single-payer system. 73% of physicians want a single-payer system such as exists in Europe and Canada. 73% of physicians want a single-payer system such as exists in Canada. The disinformation campaign that's going on by the special interest groups is just that. They're paying $1.4 million a day to have disinformation regarding health care, to pretend that the Canadian system doesn't work, to pretend the European system doesn't work. Basically, we're paying for Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO $600,000 a year plus in salary. How many of us make $600,000 a year? The CEOs of major healthcare companies make millions of dollars a year. Your premiums are going up and their salaries are going up. And we're not getting care. We need a single payer now.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes.
Woo! Single payer.
Single payer!
Why not? We're too big to fail. We're too big to fail. We're too big to fail. We're here in front of the Blue Cross Blue Shield offices today because they're the largest insurer in Montana, and they have a near monopoly that controls this market. Follow the Money starts here. We're going down to Bacchus's office, and we're going to ask him how much is it going to cost us to buy him back. Of course, that's a rhetorical question with our tongue firmly in cheek. We shouldn't have to buy him back at all. But this is ridiculous. How many of you here have lost $1,000 to the corrupt insurance industry in the last 5 years?
Oh yeah, man.
Count it up. How many have lost more? We've all donated to the disinformation campaign of $1.5 million a day to lobby against health care reform. That's what we're here for. We're following the money. Why has that happened? Bacchus received $4 million from the healthcare industry since 2000. Is that right?
No!
The healthcare lobby gave $170 million to federal lawmakers in 2007 and 2008. Is that right?
No!
Over 60% of the public favors a single-payer Medicare for all care system, and yet only 25% of Congress favors it. Is that right?
No.
What are they there for? Almost 2/3 of all bankruptcies in 2007 were precipitated by overwhelming medical bills. Is that right?
No!
That's why we're here, and that's why we're going down to Bacchus to ask him, how much does it cost to be our senator? We're following the money. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Single payer now! Single payer now! Single payer now! Single payer now!
Single payer now!
Switch it up a little.
So to finish my thoughts from the last site, I also wanted to mention that unless you're Warren Buffett, your family is just one serious illness away from bankruptcy, and health insurance offers little protection. What's Max doing taking money from them?
Right.
Health insurance reform is not health care reform. Health care is a human right. I've heard from people that say they don't trust the government to do it right, and they're going to make it worse. And I say, huh? How could it be any worse? You know, why don't we start by calling health care a human right and go from there? And where we're going to end up is single payer. That's where we're going to end up. Why aren't they listening? Follow the money. Why aren't they listening? Follow the money. Follow the money. Okay, we're going to have a little poem here, and feel free to cheer and be raucous.
My name is Rita Jankowska Bradley.
Yeah!
Can you hear? Okay.
Yeah!
Okay, I wrote this poem titled My Three-Quarter Man Blues. By the way, this poem is not copyrighted, but copylefted. Okay, it is dedicated to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Montana. And because of that, I must read you this disclaimer. This poem will be recorded and may be monitored for quality purposes. Okay, I gotta tell you why I got the blues. It's about my man. He's only a three-quarter man. The rest eliminated by a writer, a contract he had to sign. He had to agree to exclude his left knee in totality. They tacked on a contract to eliminate his esophageal tract and even his back. My man isn't intact. However, I was glad to discover some other important parts were still covered. Yet I gotta tell you, I got the three-quarter man blues. I have an idea. I'm asking Blue Cross and Blue Shield for a quarter back, a refund. Why pay for the whole when my man is only a three-quarter man? Blues Company, we need a rebate. Please sign our writer to eliminate for the prorate before it's too late. Oh, I've got the three-quarter man blues. I need my man back along with his track. His parts all included. That's my new tact. Even though I'm not part of your pack, it's the money we track. Blue Cross and Blue Shield, please help me recover from my three-quarter man blues. I may not be a fan, but I need my whole man. But for now, I've got the three-quarter man blues. I have an idea. I'll talk to my senator, who says he's not bought by the blues or the packs, but just to be certain, maybe we need to buy him right back. For Senator Baucus, I know you're 100% man. The health industry has you covered as completely as they can. So Senator Max, please help me recover from my three-quarter man blues. Oh, and I'd like you to introduce you to my man, my three-quarters man blues.
You can buy Viagra on your insurance.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say a couple words because we went to, is that working now? Okay, we went to the senator's listening session here in Missoula, and I asked a question about what it would, since the majority of people in the U.S. and in Montana want a single-payer type system, what it would take to get that considered. You know, what it would get, and I didn't get an answer to the question, but one of his young staffers took me aside afterward to give me the learned lecture about the realities in Washington. He said, it's not part of the political reality. It just can't get any sort of single-payer system done. And I had to think about that. Basically, we have our senator's aide telling us that the majority of the population in this country is not part of the political reality in Washington, D.C. Let's have a little trouble with that concept. So there's some realities out here that healthcare is already rationed. 47 million people don't have insurance. If you're poor, you're rationed. If you have pre-existing conditions, you're rationed. The insurance companies get away with a system where they get to insure the healthy parts of young people. I'll be 62 here pretty soon, and then the government takes over and insures the high-risk population, all the elderly, right? So we already do this. but the insurance company gets to make a huge profit off insuring parts of some people, and the government already takes care of the rest. So let's have a system that really works. So what does it take? I guess the question is, what does it take to become, for all of us, the majority of the people, to become part of the reality in Washington? That's the problem we got here. You know, there was a protest at Senate hearings and 13 people got arrested. Maybe we have to have, 13,000 of us get arrested to be part of reality. I'm not sure. One thing we could do is, one career path in Washington is to go to work for a senior senator's office as an aide, and then you get a job as a lobbyist with a drug company or an insurance company. Maybe we could all apply for a job as senatorial staff, and then we could go to work after it's been a year or two, and then advance to a high-paying job with Montana for single payer. We could do $100 a year, probably. But seriously, the issue is money. That's what it takes to have access at the table. You know, how many people here can afford a night at Big Sky and $2,500 for dinner? That'll happen next weekend when the Max comes, and people will fly in from all over the country to have his ear, and none of us can even afford to go there.
Why is he camping when he should be working?
Yeah. So that's what the Follow the Money is about. We're going to start a campaign. Montanans for Single Payer are going to be announcing and starting a campaign entitled "Let's Buy Back Our Senator," and to see what we can do. I mean, none of us can raise $4 million I think in the last election, if you take the amount of money spent by Max Baucus, divide by the number of votes he received, it's more than $40 a vote.
I don't know if I want him back.
Well, that could be true too, but he's our guy, and he should represent us. So that's the issue.
He should.
And so we're going to be hearing a lot more about the big check here. And I guess the final question is, everybody keeps saying this would cost too much, and for some reason we can always find the money for a war or for bailing out bankers, but why isn't there any money for people who live here?
We're too big to fail.
Yeah, there's too many of us to fail. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well said.
Well said. Max's staff is right there.
Hi.
Oh, good.
Are we real yet?
Oh, I hope so.
Are we real yet? Yes.
Are we being listened to yet?
We're taking
We
notes.
want to know why $3
Taking
billion
notes.
of campaign contributions went to our senators and our representatives from the insurance industry to maintain the status quo. And we want to know why insurance company executives' salaries have gone up and are in the millions of dollars, while our deductibles have gone up and the rate of our insurance has gone up. And those
Here
are
comes
answers
Max's
we'd like
money
Max
from the-
to...
Hey, is that money for Max? Is that from the pharmaceutical companies?
We need to know why we have the most expensive healthcare system in the United States, and we're ranked 60 in the world, and we're ranked 16th by the World Health Organization in terms of quality of care. Why is it that our infant mortality rate is higher and our life expectancy is lower than in some third world countries? We don't have a system of health care. Health is defined as wellness, and we don't have a system that promotes wellness. We have a system that takes care of the sick and gets as much money as possible for doing it.
Are you union?
No. We are the people. We want health care, single payer, right now. You support us,
I'm retired, and I don't have health care,
right?
and I'm not going to go whining to everybody in town. Go
We're
out,
not
get
whining.
Get a job and get the health care.
Tell the companies that.
Welcome to democracy.
It's for you too, sir.
Is that top down?
Democracy. That's not democracy.
No, that's not. We are.
The insurance companies are adding 30% overhead to every healthcare dollar. A business could not survive if they had 30% overhead in addition to their costs. Every physician has to pay secretarial people and insurance people just to deal with insurance, solely to deal with insurance. Physicians cannot stand that overhead. And then after they have everything properly coded and properly billed, then the insurance company wants to deny it. Patients cannot afford to pay for maintenance of health care. We have diabetics who are having end-stage renal failure because they can't afford to maintain their glucose levels properly and get follow-ups with physicians as they need to. So in the end run, patients are getting sicker. It's costing the system far more because we have a sickness care system and not a health care system. And we're teaching people not to care. We're teaching all these people in the insurance company as employees to want to deny coverage. They get rewarded by denying coverage and by making a patient think that they should be guilty for being sick. This is not what we want. This is not a product of what we should have in the United States. And we're tired of being bought and our senators being bought and representing big pharma and big insurance companies and not us.
Hear, hear!
So, maybe, could we hear from the senator staff maybe? Can you tell us what it would take to get a single-payer system seriously considered in the finance committee? Okay.
Is he hearing what we're saying?
We were here almost 2 months ago, and apparently he's not listening yet. I know why. We know why. We followed the money. We have been since the beginning. There's no other conclusion to draw. That's why we're here. We have a word to say from Jay Brostrom, who's very active in the Missoula community, and then we're going to present our rhetorical check to Bacchus' staff.
Yeah!
And Bill, there's a request that when we present the check that we actually go by the building so they can film it.
Great, thank you, and thanks for everyone for showing up. I guess one of my biggest concerns lately, not just about healthcare, but about everything, is not seeing people in the streets, and so it's a refreshing thing to see people out again in the streets, because it's the only way things will get changed in this world, is get out, get off your couch and get out in the streets. I just got back from Chiapas, Mexico, a place where I saw people that amazingly without any kinds of resources and nothing but brutal repression around every corner are resisting, and they resist with dignity. And I think that that's what I see right here. And I heard the comment earlier about this is democracy. It is. This is resisting. And I think I want to just point out one thing. I guess I'm not interested at all if this is going to be considered an option. It's the only option. When 60%, over 60% of this nation wants single-payer health care, there is no other option. It's democracy. And in the Zapatista places that I was just spent my time, there's a simple saying. In Zapatista country, the people command, the government obeys.
Hear, hear! Yeah!
And it's a lesson that Bacchus and his staff need to learn. You work for us, we don't work for you. You work for us. So it's time, folks, to stop asking for options, to stop begging for scraps, and to certainly stop working for lesser than evil strategies. Benefit versus risk and all that have to go. We settle with nothing. We definitely don't compromise our principles. This country, across political lines, partisan lines, wants single-payer healthcare. There's not an option. You obey your democratic demands, period. And in this country, people command, government obeys.
Yeah! Yes. Well said!
And like Jay said, over 60% of the people in this country want single-payer universal health care. Only 25% of Congress wants it. What does that say about Congress? Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. That's what we're doing. Now I'd like to ask you all to come up to Bacchus's Missoula field office, and we will present our request and our check.
All right, let's go!
Let's go!
Over here, people! We paid for this building. Let's use it.
You want to go, Daddy? Come on.
Baucus, we would like to present his staff with this check for $4 million with a question mark. We are asking the senator, how much does it cost for him to be our senator again? How much does it cost for him to represent us rather than sitting at the table with these predator insurance companies and not listening to us? Single payer is really the only option we have if we're going to have a rational health care system. We should, at the very least, have a huge place at the table. The insurance industries, the health care industries have totally discredited themselves.
They're criminal
They should not be at the table.
18,000 Americans dead every year. It's time to say no.
43,000 people lose their health insurance every week now. It doesn't do what it says it's going to do. It just
Tell Max
makes
to say
money
no to the criminals. Tell him to
CEO.
say no.
So, Lauren and I forgot your name, Melanie, here's our check, and we hope you deliver this to Baucus with our best regards and our message. And I hope you listen. Thank you.
This poor staff has to stand out here in front of you.
Healthcare is a human right.
The veterans are not.
Healthcare is a human right.
Say it
That's
again.
right. Healthcare is a human right.
Say it again. Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right. Let's start there. Thank you all for coming.
Amen.